Hello, everyone, and welcome to another wholesome episode of Spoiler Warning.
I think the thing that intrigued me about this is that, like, as soon as we came up with the idea to play this game, which I know nothing about, Chris was like basically expressing that there's about a 50% chance this video is going to be unwatchable.
Yeah, so this is a indie horror game by David Szymanski. I don't exactly know how his name is pronounced, but he's done a lot of other stuff like The Moon Sliver. Well, The Moon Sliver is my favorite game of his. There's a lot of indie horror kind of stuff for a number of years.
He was involved in Dusk.
He was also involved in Dusk, yes.
He did a game for the original Dread X collection, which was one of my favorites. It was the one about...
I still need to get to the Dread X collection.
I mean, like they're like any other horror anthology. There's some really weak entries and some amazingly great stuff. So it's a grab bag, but I like them on the whole. They're very fun.
That's actually what I like about horror anthologies. I need the hot and cold because honestly, a lot of the time, even the good stuff isn't great.
Yeah.
I think that's the... I'm not saying that's true about the Dread X collection, but like when it comes to horror movie anthologies and stuff, that's really the secret, is that like... with horror, sometimes you gotta take what you can get. And if you package in the good stuff with a lot of crap, it really does help things out. Wow, that was not an optimistic note to start an indie horror game on.
Alright, so I would go and explain what this game is, but when I hit new, we will hopefully have a big thing that explains what the hell's going on, so let's do that. Decades ago, every known star and habitable planet vanished, leaving only those who were on space stations or starships. This event became known as the Quiet Rapture. With supplies dwindling and infrastructure crumbling, survivors are searching for any trace of natural resources in a universe of barren moons lit by the ghost light of vanished stars. One such moon holds a strange anomaly, an ocean of blood. You are a convict tasked with exploring this anomaly in a makeshift submarine nicknamed the Iron Lung. It was not designed for this depth, so you will be welded inside, and the forward window will be closed. There was no time for training. If successful, you earn your freedom.
Can we hang on for a second? This is a thing I come back to a lot in this show. People say, like, Rutsgard, do you like video game writing? And my answer is often no. What I like is this. This is great. There's just enough here to get you into the gameplay while also filling your mind with all kinds of, like, wonderful context for what that gameplay is. You don't need, like, 80 screens to set a tone. You need one good screen. This is a great screen.
Yeah, this is... they are pulling the punches on what the hell is going on in this universe.
Specifically, they did pull punches. They pulled all of the punches that weren't landing directly on the jaw, and I love it.
My favorite part of this is the ghost light of vanished stars, because the implication is, if you remember from a few seconds ago, we saw the surface of this moon, and you can see stars out in the distance, but we're just getting the light from the stars that are gone. Like, that's light that left thousands of years ago. I love that idea, that everything is just gone. They're gone. Sorry, I just think that's cool.
It's all stars and every habitable planet, so... Alright, let's jump in here. Oh, I have to actually press a key, I think, not click.
Beginning your descent.
Like, that told us everything we need to know about this context. We don't need to know all of the information about, like, whatever shitty society we're part of. All we need to know is they're having us explore this ocean of blood. We're a convict. They didn't have time. They welded us in. Is it you getting dialogue there? Did we miss something?
Yeah, there's like some guy we're communicating with on the surface, but like after this there will be nothing. It's just the like, hey, we're putting you in. Good luck.
It's the Five Nights at Freddy's intro dialogue kind of thing, basically.
Yeah.
We're starting to lose radio signal. You'll be at cruise depth soon. So
I hope all game developers are cool with the fact that that's what it's going to be called forever now.
Okay, so this is it. This is our submarine. Despite us being in the far future space technology shit, this submarine looks like it was made in the 30s, so that's encouraging.
Oh, yeah, this is a good old dog shit submarine.
And as you can see, we have no porthole, so this is how we see. We have this camera button. And it takes a photo like 2 seconds after you press it, and that's it. If we hit B, we got our briefing. So 2 weeks ago, we conducted an exploration of Moon AT-5 for the first time since the Quiet Rapture, leading to the discovery of a fourth blood ocean. So this has happened before, I guess. A trench beneath the ocean's surface has several points of interest. Your task is to photograph these points of interest with the SM-13's forward camera. Photos must be taken within 2 units of the specified position and 10 degrees of the specified angle. You can also use the camera to help with navigation. Only photos taken at the specified points of interest will be saved. Since you can't navigate by sight, pay attention to your coordinates and consult the map. The proximity indicators next to the sub-controls will trigger if you're getting too close to an obstacle. Good luck.
The weird thing is that, like, as brutally hostile as this is, a lot of, like, you said, like, this is like a 30s submarine. Like, a lot of explorers and, like, kind of adventurers from that era, like, had even worse abilities to navigate.
Yeah. I mean, we have a thing that just tells us our X and Y coordinates, so that, you know, we don't have external bearing. So yeah, we've got a map. It's got an X-axis and a Y-axis. So we look at the map. Our position is X182, and our Y position is 116. So we are approximately here. I'm not sure.
Very
if you can see
helpful.
my mouse, but yeah.
I could not, and even if I did, I would not know what I was looking at. So Excelsior.
We're in the
lower left.
In the recording, we're in the lower left. We're in the bottom left little like leg of this trench. So also we have this this note here. And I gotta be honest, I'm not sure if this is something we wrote or like some other person that used this submarine before us did, but like, would they even recover the submarine? Anyway, it says, this is not an expedition, this is an execution. When they put you in here, they don't want you to return. And even if you do, and even if they keep their promise, what freedom waits for you? A few dying ships and a sea of dead stars? If there is still hope, it lies beyond the veil. Hope in this void is as illusionary as the starlight. I will choose to breathe my last here at the bottom of an ocean, unseen, unheard, and uncontrolled. They will get their execution, I will get my freedom. And it's kind of lightly smeared with blood, which is encouraging. Also, we have a fire extinguisher.
Yep. That, I would definitely read into this that was the last schmuck who was welded into this thing.
Yeah. Okay, so, we're down here at the bottom left side here. I'm going to head straight at a 0 degree heading until we hit about 200 Y. So that's it. We push this to go forward, push this to go back. These will adjust our angle, but we don't really want to change our angle right now. And you have to navigate entirely based on coordinate systems here. If we want to like see where we're going, we can stop and do this, but it's not incredibly helpful, obviously, so... we do have a depth indicator, but as far as I know, there's no way to change your depth, so...
Huh. How long is this game?
Well, it depends on how long it takes you to navigate this. I would say about an hour.
Interesting. This seems like a lot of infrastructure and like a lot of prep work and like a lot of context for an hour-long experience.
Yeah. All right, I'm changing us to about 90 degrees.
Like this basically feels like it could just be like Subnautica by way of Stalker Clear Sky. That's actually a joke. That's not actually what it would be like, but like kind of that sense of like, you know, being able to explore around and like, I guess the one wrinkle is that you can't actually get out of the submarine. But like,
so we got a proximity indicator to our right here,
and that's like things that you know
so,
you might bump into.
Yeah, I mean, presumably if we run into.
Well, that's fun.
Big whale. All right. Presumably, if we run into that bad stuff happens. I think the clever thing about the way they do this is the camera is just so absolutely garbage that, like, is that like a bunch of skulls? Like, I could see it as skulls. I don't know, or like skeletons or shit, or maybe it's just like some fucking seaweed or a rock. Who knows?
I love it.
Anyway,
You accidentally have it tuned
back.
to the weather channel, but there's no weather on this planet, so it's just static.
Let's see. We need to get to 322X, so we're gonna turn slightly away from that thing and keep going. As we go away from it, the proximity indicator is going to flash less until it goes away.
Pretty straightforward. I'd be interested to know what the actual process of generating like those camera snapshots is, like in game development terms. Like, what's happening?
I think
here?
there's
a
a real
environment outside us.
There is, yeah.
That would make sense, yeah. Sorry, I think I interrupted you there.
No, it's. I was just saying, yeah, there is a full 3D environment because you can like move a couple inches forward, take another picture, and it's the same stuff. It's just a bunch of filters on a low resolution, low fidelity image. Anyway, the DreadX collection that David Szymanski worked on was the Pony Factory, which was one of my favorites from the original. The description of that was...
Ominous name.
Winston thought he could use hell energy to create magical ponies. Winston was wrong.
Did this by any chance come out around the time of Doom 2016?
No, the original DreadX collection was 2020.
I see.
I can't believe there's been 4 of them since then.
Wait, the original collection was 2020? Damn, this is way longer ago.
322. So when we go here, we can hover. These are the 10 points we need to photograph. So you need to get to within 2 units each of the X and Y coordinates, which you can see we're aligned here, 322X, 186Y, and we need to get within 10 degrees of the angle, in this case 33.
Okay, I will say that this does not seem like the kind of game that you could easily play while focusing on something else, and also not like the kind of game that really demands all of your attention.
So now we've got a check mark there. I wonder what this thing is, though.
That looks pretty fucking rough.
How close are you going to get to it?
Any kind of proximity alarm.
Just gently kiss it. Just to show you that we're
okay,
friendly.
That's really big, actually. It's a lot bigger than it looked.
Okay, I think we've gone through it by now. I think there's no collision on it whatsoever. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Collision seems like it'd be a pain in the ass to figure out in this game.
Well, especially with an object like that.
Run into.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if especially with big complicated objects that look like ribs, if you get stuck and it's a real collision system, how are players going to know how to get out with the inputs they have?
Yeah.
There's no reason to do that when you're it's so coarse, your movement in this space, that just big invisible boxes would be perfectly suffice for obstacles.
378 by 263. Let's go.
But if it's something that you're specifically examining up close, it definitely seems like you're gonna be gonna not want to have every single element of that working collision wise, or you're not gonna want to. So you're not gonna have a crude collision box for an object that is specifically supposed to be examined and scrutinized in greater detail.
I will say, though, if you were in a society that had all planets gone and people are running out of food, you'd think you'd at least start drinking the blood, right? If there was no other options.
Yeah, hey, this is a source of calories.
I mean,
wait,
like,
right,
you know, do all kinds of weird shit at that point. I don't want to get too flippant about the idea of, you know, growing reckless in the face of an incipient, complete collapse of civilization.
All right, we have arrived at the second point. Rotating 250 degrees. There we go, and let's see what we got here. Another big.
Yeah.
Is there a
bunch of
thing behind
stuff.
it, though?
Maybe.
There's like an eyeball, some sort of Yog-Sothoth looking thing.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hello.
Ah,
Okay,
yeah,
this
you're right
thing
up in
does
there.
have collision on it, so we're gonna back off.
Yeah, I think it's probably fine.
Okay, next one we've got is we're gonna have to go through a relatively narrow channel here, so I want to go up to 300 and to the west to about 3x. So let's turn like this.
It's interesting
Fortunately,
how
like-
much of the tension comes through the fact that you can't see where you're going.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't finished it yet, but my expectation is the game eventually starts fucking with you. Because it would be so easy to, given your limited input.
Oh yeah. I have actually finished this game, so I do know how it ends, and it does. It definitely starts fucking with you. Okay, let's see. We're at 300Y. We're going to follow that till we hit about, I'd say, 310X, and then we'll turn to the northwest so we don't slam into this wall of the trench. I thought, and go.
Oxygen notification.
Oh, by the way, we have limited oxygen.
Yeah, the game's got a time limit, so.
It's like, this reminds me of how, like, when they were building planes for when they're trying to do the Atlantic crossing, like the Spirit of St. Louis, they put the fuel tank in front of the pilot because they didn't want it to, like, because, like, the fuel tank crushing aviators to death was a huge problem. Basically, just dying as an aviator in the 20s and 30s was, like, a massive problem, where if you're an aviator before 1940, you probably died in a crash at some point. Like, it is statistically likely. And, like, that meant, but the thing is, like, this means that it's in your way, so you can't see anything in front of you. Like, you literally can't look out the front window while you're flying this plane and ultimately trying to land it. And it was pointed out to me, like, okay, so, but you're crossing the Atlantic Ocean for the most part, like, what is there to see in front of you? Like, you don't need to see anything, you just need to keep track of, like, where you are, like, using math and your speed, and your, like, your compass. But, like, I don't know, it just really drives home how terrifying that kind of shit is, and how reckless people are willing to be to make that kind of achievement happen.
Worms?
Well, that
if you
looks
take a picture
encouraging.
again, is it do they move?
It's kind of hard to tell.
No.
It doesn't
Doesn't really
look
look like it.
Static Beetlejuice. That's a friendly
It's
distance
Longhorn.
rose.
Oh yeah. All right, want to go up to. Let's hit 450 Y and 300X.
You know, it's weird that Longhorse never really took off the way other Trevor Henderson characters did.
Trevor Henderson?
The artist that did Siren Head and other things,
Oh.
Cartoon Cat.
Cartoon Cat rings 0 bells.
So I have two young nephews, which is, I mean, I also follow Trevor Henderson on Twitter, but I know about the phenomenon of children getting real into Trevor Henderson monster character. Have I gone on this rant before?
No, absolutely.
No.
Go ahead.
So, Trevor Henderson's an artist who does horror work, and he's known for both making things like Siren Head and other monstrosities, and also sometimes taking like a real photo and like making it grainy and then adding a hand-drawn monster in the background that makes it look creepy and real. But what ends up happening is some of these characters he's made get kind of popular and get fan art made of them, and then eventually start getting their own like fan video games made. I'm sure you've seen some of the Siren Head games that have been made. There are like 5 or 6 at least.
Yeah.
But what ends up happening is there's this pipeline where Trevor Henderson makes a character, that character ends up getting popular, it ends up spawning fan art and eventually fan games. Fan games are usually scary because it's Trevor Henderson spooky stuff, so lots of Let's Players play them, and when Let's Players play them, inevitably this trickles down to all of the kids watching YouTube Let's Plays ad infinitum and get real excited about spooky characters. And it's not just Trevor Henderson stuff. That's also how you get, like, currently the Poppy Playtime characters are very, very popular. Huggy Wuggy and Kissy Wissy. You guys have not heard about this at all, have you?
Nope.
No, I have no
I'm in
idea
for
what
the ride
you're
here.
talking about, dude.
So there's a horror game called Poppy Playtime where you go to an abandoned 1980s Lisa Frank / KB Toys toy factory, and there's a character named Huggy Wuggy that chases you, and he's scary. And he's also just beloved by kids. There's a pipeline that basically turns horror game character monsters into beloved kid icons by way of using Let's Players. That's, I guess, what I'm getting at. And it's a very bizarre phenomenon. Like, my nephew, for his birthday, got a Siren Head plush doll.
Yeah. I think that's very cool. I look forward to seeing what kind of, like... the way I think about it is that, like, mainstreamed
I want to be at 325.
weird horror directed at children is great because it's going to gestate into some really weird shit, like, in a few decades, and I cannot wait.
God, it absolutely is.
Like, these kids are going to grow up and they're going to make something that's going to absolutely light my hair on fire. I grew up with, like, you know, scary stories to tell in the dark and stuff. Nah, come on.
The good news is we're out of the narrow trenches for a while, so we should just be able to... What the...
Uh-oh.
Okay, that's fun. Okay, we're not quite outside of the narrow trenches. I may have spoken slightly too soon, but...
We're surrounded by walls.
Okay, now we're out into the open stuff. We need to head to about... we'll do 500x, and then we'll turn to the southeast.
Just imagining, like, a pipeline where you're 8 years old and you're into, like, pop horror, like Five Nights at Freddy's, and then by 10 years old you're watching, like, Eggers movies. Just talking, like, you've got a backpack of The Lighthouse. Arguing over whether The Witch or Midsummer was better.
Those 12-year-olds are real into A24 films.
X 277.
It's the classic screamo YouTubers to A24 film pipeline. Did I ever talk about my relationship with the movie The Lighthouse?
No, I've yet to see it. I've heard good things.
It's fantastic. I loved it. But I was like, I went well out of my way to see that movie. Like, I was constantly checking to see when it would come to theaters anywhere nearby me. And I got to see it in October of 2019. And I won't go into the movie too much, but for context, if you've never heard of it, it's a film about slowly going insane in a dark, cold place, just like far from anything that's
Like this.
happening. Yeah, and I got out of the movie, and I'm like, wow, that was great. And I checked my phone, and I received a message that they had essentially already turned off power for like the place I was living in, and it remained off in my home, and also most of Northern California for like 5 days or something. Basically, like Pacific Gas and Electric, the company up here, shut everyone's fucking power off for a long ass time because, including like in the apartment, like, not just the apartment complex I was living in, but like miles in every direction. Like I had to go to a library in a different city to charge my phone because their infrastructure is horrible and there was high winds and they were afraid of starting another fire, justifiably, because they did start another fire that October, I think.
Oh boy.
You know what this kind of feels like in terms of the actual mechanics of driving? It feels like how you only have half the information you need to drive the ship in Sea of Thieves.
Oh yeah. Not like if you've got the brigantine.
Yeah, this. Hey, Rutskarn, what do you think of the new Sea of Thieves DLC?
That's fucking fantastic. I love it. By DLC, you mean free updates because it's all free.
I was joking and implying that this was Sea of Thieves DLC.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The
reason
Sea
I
of
reacted
Thieves
like that.
Updates.
The reason I reacted like that is because I went off on a rant on Twitter.
Yeah,
about
you had
how
you had a Twitter thread about it.
it's so weird finally getting into a live service game for pretty much the first time, honestly. Like, I guess you could count like TF2 or some shit, but I don't. But like, yeah, this is like the first live service multiplayer game that I feel like I have been into on the level of like, I don't know, some Zoomer high schooler. And I'm absolutely shocked by how fucking ungrateful and entitled the community gets.
So that's the thing.
How big that is.
Yeah, that looked... I'm actually surprised by how recognizably animal that was.
It feels pretty large.
Yeah, that's definitely a skull.
It's like a vertebrate skull, like with ungulate jaws.
Yep. You want to fly into the jaws of this
I
giant
would recommend not doing that. Oh god.
You would recommend not doing... I mean, you'd recommend not being here, let's be honest. I think maybe we flew past it.
That's... Okay, hang on. That's a really weird skull to find at the bottom of an ocean.
Okay, let's be clear here, though, Rutskarn. All of the planets and stars went away, and we're on an ocean... We're in an ocean of blood on the surface of a barren moon with no atmosphere.
Right. But, like...
So, like...
I think it's the teeth. The teeth get me. And the
Is
jaw.
that the weirdest part? Wait, are we inside it?
Or like right up on it.
It's got like a skeletal system that, like the rest of the skeletal system looked like a whale, but it had like flat molars.
It's hell. Okay, the next one we got to go through this tiny, narrow little entrance. That's gonna be a pain.
Well, don't run out of oxygen.
Like Chris, I'll be sure not to do that. All right, we need to go to 750X, and I'd say 230Y. So let's...
Blood's about as dense as water, right?
I mean, blood is mostly water, so yeah. So yes, if you're asking the question, could a liquid ocean of blood exist on a planet with no atmosphere? The answer is no.
No, I was thinking more like, how bad would the pressure be outside? Would you be crushed?
Well, I mean, we like any, like that's dependent upon the gravity of the moon or other body that we're on.
You're bringing science into this
stuff. But
You know,
clearly
when
we're
you
at a
lay out
depth
all of-
where we can't have the viewport open.
When you lay out all of the science of this, it is weird how I accepted the bizarreness of a blood ocean just immediately as like, oh, this is just like impressionistic world building. And then I saw like ungulate teeth and I'm like, wait a minute.
Gonna start getting proximity warnings soon. Yup. There we are.
You're
Just
looking at a
on
wall.
schedule. Okay, so we're at 750X, 233Y, 231Y. Let's go this way. We can actually make out the bit where this curves away and we can go past. Kinda, maybe.
Was Team Fortress 2 a live service game?
I mean, yeah, kinda.
I guess.
Oh, sorry, that's
It's kind of like
200
a transitional fossil,
yeah,
right?
I would say Left 4 Dead is more of a transitional fossil.
Yeah,
Oh,
Left 4
God.
Dead was very much like that was when they were
Most of the
explicitly
stuff.
experimenting with it.
Why are you going down?
Oh, I'm reading the map wrong. No, okay. We need
Yeah,
to go
where
up. We need to
are
be
you
at,
going?
260Y. It's hard. The y-axis all the way over there. It's hard to read the damn thing.
It's weird how Valve has so many revenue models where like that is the only one they would need. Like obviously there's Steam, but then also they have Dota and TF2.
Is Dota still popular? I feel like League is totally eclipsed it.
Like the funny thing is I've felt that way a dozen different times and then I've looked at the stats and been like, holy shit.
All right, so that would be the
Let's see.
there.
Yeah, I mean it's okay. It's not the average. On average, there's 437,000 players active at any given time over the last 30 days.
To
I guess
775.
the peak was 733,000. That's a pretty good amount of people.
No, that's still huge.
Like certainly, if that was the only thing they were doing, they would not go broke. Like for most studios, that would be a extremely successful title. League currently does have, looks like, anywhere between like roughly 3 times as many players.
Jealous.
But it's like a Coke Pepsi thing, right? Where it's like they're both the major biggest players in the game.
Yeah. And then
Alright,
they've got
we need to
that
target
Team Fortress 2,
864.
and TF2 still has a shitload of players.
Is that a leak?
What? It's
I
been
I saw-
kind of dripping blood in here periodic.
Yeah, it looks like it hovers around 100,000 concurrent players for TF2. Which is not far off the peak of Team Fortress 2, actually. In fact, actually, Team Fortress 2's player base has been relatively consistent for the past 10 years.
God, that's bizarre.
Yeah, it's weird to think about considering that the game basically ceased to exist for me like 8 years ago.
Oh.
That seems
Okay,
weird.
That's 209 is the angle they want us on. This is whatever we're supposed to photograph. That's what we're seeing on the proximity sensors.
City.
Is that a
Interesting.
building or something? What's this over here?
That's just a wall. That's just a straight up wall.
Allons-y. I have to say
let's see if
that
we can get a little closer to it. What was that? We were almost dead on. Oh, it won't tell me the angle.
I have to say, Sub with Submarine does have fewer features than I was hoping for.
In what way?
I'm just mostly just joking that this was like Sunless Sea Submariner.
Oh, now you're making the joke, and we're misinterpreting it.
Well, I mean, it was pretty reasonable misinterpretation both times because I understand that people actually did not like Submariner very much. I did not play that one.
That's definitely some kind of structure. Alright, let's get the hell out of here before our oxygen runs out.
So how do you get to the other area? Because it didn't look like it was possible on the map.
There's these are passable areas, but they're like when we went through here, there was a lot of proximity warnings, so they're just like more full of stuff.
I wonder what the viewer's looking at right now. Like, what's in the other tab?
Okay, we'll take this until we hit X800-ish. Then we can go south again.
I'm gonna do games like this that are horror-based, but also kind of slow. I'm just gonna like start adding emergent horror elements, like suddenly yelling at the viewer, "Hey, get off Reddit! Stop arguing! Nobody listens to you anyway."
Your built-in insanity effect.
We're gonna capture like 0.5% of our viewers.
The built-in insanity of having Rutskarn in your head making fun of you.
So if this game does look interesting to you and you want something that's maybe a little less horror-themed but in a similar vein, there is Nautical 2000 or 20,000 Atmospheres, which is also... It's this, but worse. Worse in the sense that it's more complicated.
Okay.
Not worse...
Wow,
not worse in
what
quality.
an endorsement.
Worse in the sense that, like, this game is meant to be finishable in an hour. Nautical is meant to have you die over and over again as you learn what the heck you're doing. But, like, just turning the damn thing on in Nautical is an achievement, whereas here, it's not about controlling this thing, it's about the horror of the setting.
Existential horror.
That's not good. Okay, we made it. Alright, I want to take us down to 240, and then we
Down?
south. Sorry. Well,
No, I meant I thought I thought the next point is up north.
okay. We just teleported.
What the?
Okay. Is that ironic? We just teleported, and Mumbles is now on the submarine.
You're on a submarine on a planet of blood. Suddenly you turn around, the wrestling is over, and Mumblo's there.
No, we're definitely not where we were.
Wait, I got it. I'm here.
Okay.
Hi, Mumbles. We're way over here. We were like down here. Hi, Mumbles.
Hi. I figured I'd show up for the last like 5 seconds.
Cool. Actually, we're only
Any
like,
luck,
halfway
Josh
through.
is going to die.
Fantastic. That's my favorite
all
part.
right, so let me get you up to speed. All of the stars and habitable planets in the universe vanished, and humanity is living on just what ships and space stations are still around. Also, occasionally, for some reason, we're going to like barren moons that still exist, and they have oceans of blood. And we're a convict, and we have been put in a submarine, nicknamed an Iron Lung, and dropped to a depth in this ocean of blood that is beyond the depth this thing is designed to operate. And we need to navigate using only a map because the porthole is closed, and take photos of things. And if we do that, if we take photos of all 10 sites, then we'll earn our freedom, I guess. So that's how things are going. We can take photos with our camera.
God.
I have one question.
Yeah.
What's bleeding?
That's... I don't know.
What is
Maybe
causing
that's what we're
the
here
sea
to
of
find
blood?
out.
What's bleeding?
We're
Maybe
accepting
the same
suggestions.
thing that made all the stars and planets disappear? I don't know.
What kind of creature is that?
There's definitely some shit alive out there. We've been hearing noises. And also, we just ran into something and teleported, like... Well, I don't know what the units here are, but, like, hundreds of meters from where we were. So that's cool.
Are there creatures, like, living in the blood? Like, is there a whole blood ecosystem?
Question.
Well, we
We
did
don't
just
know.
find a skeleton of a giant whale shark-looking thing, so
Okay.
maybe...
So that suggests that there is a blood ecosystem here.
But here's the thing, and I'm not shutting up about this. The skull had cow teeth.
The skull had cow teeth.
Yeah, like flat, like grass chewing teeth.
It was a cow skull, effectively.
Huh. So we're in Farside, is what you're telling me.
Exactly. Fucking exactly. We're taking a submarine
Okay.
to the far side.
Fantastic.
I would really enjoy it if Gary Larson had to introduce, like, stuff as though he was Rod Serling. Mostly because I think they probably would not be very good at it.
The far
there's
side,
a
but
part
it's
of
Lovecraft.
him. Yeah, there's a part of him that has that in him, I think. Like, I think that he could have been that person.
I really enjoy reading all of Gary Larson's, like, behind-the-scenes stuff. He tells a story in one of his books where he's, like, talking about how he went to the grocery store wearing a Far Side t-shirt, and then, like, as he went to go check out, the cashier turns to the cashier next to him and is like, "Oh, yeah, Gary Larson comes in here sometimes. He lives in this area. He's a huge guy, big bear of a man, really tough. Scary, but, you know, polite." Gary, he said, "I would describe myself as more of like an antelope than a bear."
Did I tell you
gets his
guys
stuff and leaves.
The Stephen King story? Did I ever tell you the Stephen King story?
I don't think so.
Maybe.
So, I used to work for this guy that lived in the same town that Stephen King lived in, and they're about the same age. They're both kind of old guys. And so they never knew who he was, even though he pretty much lived in the same area, because he was kind of a weirdo, druggy hermit. And so
Right.
after he sold his, like, second book, I think, he got a bunch of money. So there's this one hangout in town that was this, like, old 50s diner, which is so fucking on brand for Stephen King, right? So there's, like, this old...
Yeah.
There's this old 50s diner, and my boss and a couple other guys were all just chilling. And this was, like, I don't know, the 70s or something? Whenever Stephen King started writing, the 80s maybe. They're all just chilling and, like, having fun. And all of a sudden, this, like, hot rod comes, like, throwing into the thing, and they're like, "Oh, who's this guy? Like, that's a cool car." And out steps out this, like, fucking nerd. And they're like, "Oh, I guess that's Stephen King." And they had never seen him before. Like, the first time they saw him was on TV, even though he had lived in this town forever. And he, like, walks in, and everyone's like, "Oh my god." Like, they just were so weirded out by this nerd trying to be cool.
Like, yeah, you said that. I'm like, if I was in that
Oh.
area and a convertible showed up and then Stephen King stepped out of it, I would instantly know that was Stephen King.
Right, exactly. They just knew.
I have to say that you look at Stephen King and there's no confusion that you're looking at Stephen King.
You know it's Stephen King. Without a doubt. It's no matter what era it is, it's Stephen King.
Yeah, he walked
we've
in to
got
sell
more
his first book and the
bones.
agent was like, "Oh, Stephen King. Holy shit."
That's-
Ah,
That's kind of
bones.
spiny.
I don't see like a skull or anything.
That's definitely a spine.
Do you have like a compartment for protein bars in the submarine, or like how do you sleep, eat, etc.?
No, I mean,
The oxygen
we're not
will run out
supposed
first.
to be here long enough for
cool.
that. We'll be dead.
Very cool. Is a story that you just like appeared, you materialized inside of the submarine, or were you like?
No, we're
Deployed.
a convict, and we've been welded into this old rickety submarine and told to photograph this shit at the bottom of this weird ocean of blood that just showed up. And if we succeed, then we win our freedom, I guess.
Oh, classic.
So
Yeah.
how do we get up there now? So we're up around the top green check
So
mark.
we need to head around to, I'd say,
Is it like
350
400,
knots,
500?
and then
I-
go north. Yeah.
I really love how around like 300, 250, there's like an ambiguity. Like, is there a channel there? Because it looks like there might be,
yeah.
but there's so much noise
That's-
that it's impossible to tell.
That's the only way I can see to get there, so that's where we're
Godspeed.
going.
Okay, so here's a practical question. We need every inch of the submarine. Like, there's not a station that we don't use here. We spend most of our time with these controls, but we have to do the most precise work over there by the camera. What
Yeah.
spot would you guys pick?
I mean,
I
that's
don't get-
assuming that I hydrated before getting into the submarine.
Yeah.
Because as Campster said, we would run out of air first, right? And you guys have only been playing for like an hour. Is that about the time? How much time of air do you have?
Well, we're at
They give you a big
75%
gulp on your
oxygen
way out of
right
the
now,
bus.
or maybe 60. I can't tell. Is the bottom one none or? So there's 4. We're somewhere around above 50%.
Because I held it during a Batman film. So I feel like if you have 3 hours, I can hold it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Isn't Batman 3 hours?
Batman is 3 hours. Yeah.
Holy shit.
And it was worth it.
Okay, we're going to about 375, I think, here. X. It's also occasionally dripping blood in here, so that's fun.
It's protein.
Yeah, that's true.
We won't starve to death. We'll just survive by eating the blood.
Well, wait, can humans survive on, like, blood? Uncooked blood?
No. No.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that's what I
not
thought.
for very long.
I mean,
Okay,
you
our oxygen is
could.
now at whatever
It's
that
a
is.
net hydration negative.
Oh,
is it?
interesting.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
you need water, but
Is
like
it too salty?
But if they gave you a big gulp on the way in, even if it was full of, like, Diet Dr. Pepper, it's fine.
They give you a 50-50 Diet Dr. Pepper blood big gulp.
I'm
Diet Dr.
Jesus
Pepper
Christ.
is hydrating.
Just pretend to Michelada.
Some Crystal Light.
Have you tried Coke Starlight?
I have. Okay, so funny thing about Coke Starlight. The first time I tried it, I was like, this is disgusting. I will never drink this ever again. But then we ran out of all of my other sodas in the house, and I didn't want to go to the store. So I was like, I only have one choice for caffeine that isn't coffee, and it's Coke Starlight. And now I love it.
I really dig the weird pseudo-minty thing it does. I like it.
It does taste like a melted... It tastes like someone took a cotton candy and then poured Coke on top of it.
It does not sound appealing to me.
It's not, but the more you drink it, the more you love it. Which is very sci-fi, very space age if you think about it.
Okay, we made it through that ambiguous bit there.
Are we above 600?
We need to get up to Y660, I think, to... Yeah, we're past
Nice.
600. Y660, and then we can turn...
Okay,
Should we do
you know
this
what?
one first, and then come back and do this one, or should we do this one and then go down to the one down there?
Left or right?
The left
I'm actually
one
seeing-
or the...
Oh, I'm sorry. Please figure this out before I tell you about drinking blood.
Oh.
Let's go to
Human
the one down
blood,
in the
though,
trench
Rutsgar.
first. Oh shit!
Oh,
Yes.
Jesus.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Oh no. We have a fire extinguisher this whole time?
Why is the sub on fire? Ow!
How long has this been
Stop
going
that.
on?
Redscarn, Google can blood light on fire. Quick!
Yeah, blood is extremely flammable. Keep blood away from fire. Oh no!
Oh no!
We just take a picture and it's just everything's on fire. Well, that
I think
doesn't
I was
seem to have
overly
actually
confident
destroyed
about-
anything.
I think I was overly confident about blood drinking. It looks like some people, a fish biologist here on Quora, is claiming that it will be a net hydration once it's digested.
Oh.
Oh, well, that's no good.
But that's my point. Is like if you eat blood, and blood is what gets the nutrients to the rest of your body anyway. Assuming all of the blood in this lake has all the nutrients the human body needs, theoretically you're getting all the nutrients. You just need to digest it out of the blood and put it into your blood.
So you're saying, like, what if all of this blood is 100% human blood?
Or containing the
random
nutrients necessary for humans to survive. Yes.
I don't think that's how it works.
Wow, it's weird how there actually is no consensus on whether drinking blood is going to hydrate you or not.
Man. What was the point of Anthony Bourdain's show if he wasn't going to look this up?
Just drop Anthony Bourdain out of a helicopter. Oh, sorry, we thought you were Survivor Man. But try to have a culinary adventure and also not die in the middle of nowhere.
He should have gone to the places, I don't know, Mars,
Parts
wherever they
extremely
drink blood.
Yeah, why is he not on this moon? What was it, AT-5? What is that sound?
Just actively trying to summon Anthony Bourdain's ghost right now.
So
Is that-
what I'm learning
is that
is that
Anthony Bourdain. Just grumbling
what
at
I'm
us.
learning is that the human body is very, very inefficient.
Wait! What if we're in a human body? Think about it, man.
So we're
I
just
don't
kind
think
of
it
like
maps.
hanging around.
Shut up.
Like that one Epcot ride.
Shut
Body
up.
Wars. Where's our boy? Now I'm sad. I know that wasn't Body Wars, but it still makes me sad.
Was
It's the same
Body Wars only on in Epcot, or do they have it in Disneyland?
Yeah. No, it was only in Epcot.
I rode that shit as a child.
Wait, is that the one where they shrink you down real small?
That's the one. I mean, they had
And then
something
you go with your
similar to
boyfriend
Disney,
and you
right?
kiss him a lot because it's a very slow, dark ride?
That's actually a different
No.
Body Wars. And that's actually like a different ride. That's the
Oh,
sexy
okay.
one. That's the sexy one where, like, there's a huge problem with teens making out. The other one,
Yeah.
it was a horrifying, basically, you know those machines they have for mixing paints, like at hardware stores? That was basically it, but for people.
What?
It was like
was
a
an
really
early
rough
version.
motion simulator.
It was an early version of the technology they used for Star Tours, but it was so early that it was really rough and it shook the crap out of people and no one liked it. It gave everybody
See-
motion sickness.
What was the one where you get shrunk down real small and then you go into a people mover and then you make out with your
Journeys
boyfriend?
in Inner Space.
Man.
Thank you.
It's called something like that. Which is a very funny name for like the ride where
something
teenagers
weird
finger
is
each other.
happening.
Yeah, for what it's for.
Is that supposed to happen? The Wiggly?
I don't know.
You should
Okay,
probably
well-
fix that.
We're
getting
talking
high
about
on the
sanity
fumes?
effects.
What is it? 576? Okay, we're there. We want 184 as our angle.
It looks like an
think-
exclamation mark.
Why is it getting wobbly in here?
Maybe that's why it's getting wobbly.
Ah, why is that the forest?
Maybe we should leave.
Yeah, we should probably get out of here. Yeah, we should not be near this thing. we made a mistake.
I'm starting to think that our journey to the blood planet was ill-conceived.
Oh, we teleported again.
Well, where we at?
We're just outside the mouth of the thing.
Oh, great.
That'll make getting to this next one pretty easy.
Is this mysterious, or is this a GM who's getting mad that you haven't figured out how to get to the next area?
What would you do in such a situation?
If I was the DM?
Yeah.
I'm always of the opinion that you put disaster in the path of players, but that's very much... Like, okay.
But what if you
so,
have
like,
a fun little story at the end?
I always maintain that I really am only having fun at the table when I'm as surprised by what happens as the players are.
But what about your fun little stories?
All my fun little stories are just like fucked up situations I want to see players get out of, not so much things I want to put them into.
Okay, we just had...
Like, my
North
favorite
for a
thing to do is
while.
give players a problem that I have not remotely devised a solution to.
Have you ever
no,
presented your adventurers with like
741.
tax fraud? Because I want to see them get out of that.
Oh my god.
Like, have I accused them of tax
You would,
fraud?
of course, pick the most
No,
boring
like, that's-
thing humanly
That's
possible.
the problem.
Just
the
so
adventuring
boring.
the adventuring
I'm
party
just
is in
like,
the tavern.
I'm DM.
They're getting ready to go on an adventure, and the
Here's
tax
some
collector walks in
paperwork.
and says, "Yo, what the fuck? You people haven't paid taxes on your last 4 adventures.
You
Your
said
asses
that
aren't
this
going
was
anywhere."
a home office. It's in your bedroom. It's not a home office.
The key...
What
The
is
key...
this?
the key... I'm just gonna take
Is
one
it a
thing,
crab?
flip it, reverse it. You say tax fraud, I say guild dues.
Maybe.
A
Josh,
crab
that
or
looked
a
like
head
salad
with
fingers
tentacles.
to me. Did that not look like salad fingers to you?
It's kind of salad,
Salad
fingers.
fingers,
Is that
holy
a
sh-
skull?
I will actually say that hasn't happened specifically because whenever I've had like a situation where players have owed some kind of taxes or guild fees, they have
Yeah,
not
that's
been
a
stupid
skull.
enough to fuck with it.
Oh.
Does this
Maybe
skull
we
have
should leave.
cow teeth?
Yes, it
It
does.
did,
It's
yeah.
the same skull.
Yeah. Maybe
Which
they're
means
the
it's a
ones that brought
herbivore.
us From...
But it's
Okay, we need
dead,
to
dummy.
head to-
That means whoever killed it is not a herbivore. It's the other one.
I mean, it could have also just been all the blood, I guess.
700-ish.
Like, I don't know, that's kind of my operating theory, is it's just a big old cow, and then suddenly a bunch of blood, like 80 billion tons of blood dropped on its head.
We actually shrunk.
That was Mumbles' thing. We're in a body.
Yeah, and you all laughed at it.
How big do you think the skull would be? Like, is that a...
Of a normal cow, or...
Well, no. Like, if we're shrunk, how big's that skull?
It depends how shrunk you are, my dude.
I'm just trying to, like, use its shape as a frame of reference. Like, I guess if you think it's
you'd
like
be
a cow
about the
skull...
size of a pen, I would say.
Hmm.
Like, the ship would be the size of the pen, and you would be inside of the pen.
Why am I on Quora looking up whether I can survive on blood alone?
Oh my god, yay!
You've probably been looking at the same posts I have.
Yes.
Okay, so...
Look on
just the
Reddit!
del-
Search Reddit!
Oh, the Reddit blood-drinking experts.
They'll know!
Alright, what the fuck is this?
Josh, you're really close to something.
Ah!
Oh my god.
Oh boy.
I think that was a
This is really
JPEG.
scary.
I think that was a JPEG. It was scary, though.
Oh jeez.
I'm sorry I screamed at a
Uh,
JPEG, Red Scar.
Oh, no, like, okay. We were having a conversation before you showed up about whether these were, like, pre-rendered images or what.
Of course they are.
Actually, it's like, Chris is saying most of them probably aren't.
You think that there's like this virtual space that we're like subbing around
Yeah.
in?
Because like Josh is able to get
Whoa.
closer and further away from the
yeah, there's
the
definitely some
skull.
kind of... need to take this to...
Let's no clip out of
575.
the
Let's
sub
go.
and see what's up.
You know, you say that, but I think that would actually be really cool.
Yeah, let's no
Yeah.
clip. God mode, no clip.
I'm mashing the tilde key and it's not giving me a console.
No, too bad.
Oh, good. The oxygen's almost out.
I wonder if it's a lie.
What exactly?
Guys,
That seems bad.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, look at that blood. There's blood in
Submarine
here.
is filling with blood.
Quick, drink as much as you can. That's the only way out of here.
Yeah. Your stomach can digest 2 teaspoons of animal blood. Pick the teaspoons carefully.
Rutskarn, have you seen any of Our Flag Means Death?
I haven't, but Steed Bonnet is like my favorite dumbass pirate story, so I'm probably get around to watching it at some point.
Oh, boy.
There's lots of blood.
Sounds about right. I was really like.
Do you have a bucket?
Where would we bail it to? We're in a
I don't know,
submarine.
man.
Drink it. Then pick your corner.
Pick your corner.
Doesn't make it...
This seems winnable.
You have to go 675. 675. Let's go, 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 go. Come on.
I really love the idea that like if we get the picture we need, it's gonna instantly win. We'll win in some way. Like, oh yeah, they're waiting right around the corner to drive us home. Like mom's in the minivan, like right outside the submarine. As long as we can stab that last pig.
28. 828. Let's go.
Like, no, they're still gonna fucking kill us.
I mean, I just imagine 2 stormtroopers like hovering in their little spaceship above the planet, and they're like, "There's no way he's getting out of there."
What's the best speed run of prisoners drowning in a blood tube you've ever seen?
Okay. 675, 828, 295 is the angle.
Oh my
He
god!
overshot it and died.
Oh, that was fucking awesome. That was fucking
shit!
awesome.
Oh shit!
Oh, that was great. I loved that. I loved that.
It looked like an anglerfish popped through this
Oh
submarine.
my god! Oh my god!
All right, so here's the question I'm gonna ask: could this game have been 1/3 as long? Oh, wait, hang on.
Probably, yeah. The expedition ultimately raised more questions than answers. Satellite images showed pieces of the SM-13 scattered all over the bottom of the trench, as though it had been torn apart by some huge beast. The wreckage cannot be reached at this time. No photographs have been recovered. The stars shine pale as bones. The moon is a lifeless corpse. Its ocean a gaping wound. The universe, what's left of it, is dying. But somewhere in the void, there must be hope.
For my
What the
money,
fuck?
this screen would have been better if it just said the wreckage could not be reached at this time. No photographs have been recovered. That's the part that's really like, well, that
Yeah.
fuck. Well, there was not even a point
Yeah,
to
well, that was pointless.
It's not only is there not a point to
that's
it,
it.
they're going to send
The
some other
end.
dipshit, and they're going to die the exact same way.
Yeah. That's the convicts in submarines to deepwater blood anglerfish ecology.
Someone make a mod of like an inner tube, and then Campster's on that inner tube, and he's got a big straw, and he's sipping up the blood as he like goes past, right?
Did you ever play Tubin?
Exactly.
I want to play Tubin.
You replace all of the sound files that are like weird whale sounds in the background with excerpts of Errant Signal episodes.
And then
Driving
replace the
around, and then
anglerfish's
just very
face with
occasionally-
Chris's face.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
And then, like, instead of like a anglerfish noise, it's just like the first sentence of an Aaron Signal video. Abruptly
Oh my
cut off
God.
as you're devoured by Chris.
Chris saying
my
the
God.
narrative dissonance.
Ludonarrative fissionance.